While you're thinking of one, I think one that might tie together and provide a segue to the audience participation is the question of, I think Bruce, you mentioned punishment and institutions. And of course, many of the people that are being accused, and I think this is what we have to say, accused of corruption, are in fact being processed by a party administrative rule in a non-transparent circumstance. And therefore, I would think the public couldn't be entirely sure that once you begin to pull the thread, they follow it to the logical conclusion. What constitutes evidence and all of that is, of course, unknown. So can this really be effective unless you build an independent judicial system in some respect that's seen by the public to be somewhat independent from the people bringing the accusations? Or does it just compound the cynicism?
Well, this has been one of the issues for the party ever since it gained power in '49, is not allowing any other watchdog over it. It's the nature of the Leninist party to not allow other organizations to have equal power, equal stature to challenge it. Corruption has been a problem identified as such throughout the post-Mao period, and they've consistently refused to allow any other organization to actually be a watchdog. At the local level, the inspection organizations are actually under the jurisdiction of the people they're designed to investigate. So it's obviously not designed to deal effectively with it. The CDIC is not seen as a particularly powerful organization. At least it wasn't until Wang Qishan became head of it. And so now it seems like it does have a little more bite to it. But it's still much more in terms of punishment than it is about preventing it in the first place. And the fact that it's much more, it's not a transparent process. One of the best indicators of this is as a consequence of the anti-corruption campaign, China's ranking in the Transparency International Index has actually fallen because it's seen as being a non-transparent process. It's not moving toward anything like a rule of law. It seems to be very politically motivated, and therefore it's actually fallen as a consequence of the campaign and not improved at least the international perception of corruption in China.
Mm-hmm. I would just say and wonder about a comment then. You said that the party's never allowed external validation, policing, so to speak. Of course, there's one big exception, and that's when Mao mobilized the streets in the Cultural Revolution on the party. And of course, mass mobilization then runs its own. Huh? that runs its own risk. So what seems to be happening here is things are taken down like this dome video and so on quite rapidly. There's a fear on the one hand of you want to engage people, but you don't want them too engaged and mobilized. And so I wonder if there's any risk of what you might call from the party's viewpoint excessive mobilization.